Nearly a year on from the killing spree of Mohammed Merah, the families of his victims are still fighting for justice. The Toulouse gunman died in a police siege of his flat just days after committing his last murder, but some, like Djema Legouad, who lost her son to Merah, still hope accomplices can be brought to justice.
I'm waiting. Every time I say that this is time they'll find the culprit, the real one. And we found nothing at all, and that makes me unhappy. It's not that I don't have confidence. I do have confidence in justice. It's the accomplices. I would like to have an accomplice, someone to say this is an accomplice of your son's killer. At the moment we don't have that at all.
Between March 11th and March 15th, 2012, Merah murdered 3 French soldiers. 4 days later, he attacked the Ozar HaTorah Jewish School, a central institution of Toulouse's 20,000-strong Jewish community. Merah killed 30-year-old Rabbi Jonathan Sandler and his 2 sons, Aria, aged 6, and Gabriel, aged 3, as well as 8-year-old Miriam Monsonego. The shooting was the worst anti-Semitic incident in France since August 1982, when 6 people were killed in a grenade attack and shooting at the Goldenberg restaurant in a Jewish neighborhood of central Paris. Visiting the Ozar HaTorah school on the day of the murders, the then French President Nicolas Sarkozy vowed that the country would not give in to terror. Security was stepped up outside Jewish schools across France, and a major manhunt was launched to capture Merah. Events reached their climax on March 22nd at 10:30 a.m. when, after a 32-hour siege at his apartment, Merah jumped from a window before being shot dead by a police sniper. But for many, Merah's death did not provide closure, but rather left them wondering how the authorities could have failed to stop the Toulouse gunman before he committed his acts of terror. Subsequent investigations revealed that Merah had spent time in Afghanistan and Pakistan, where he allegedly received training from al-Qaeda. And the French Interior Ministry said it had spent years monitoring him, but claimed that although he had a history of petty crime, he showed no signs that he was preparing criminal acts. Today, the investigation continues, with Merah's brother al-Qaeda being held in custody, though he denies having any involvement in Mohammed's killings. The families of Merah's victims, meanwhile, are still asking for someone to take responsibility for the failings of French investigators.
So there is, at the same time, a satisfaction to have heard the investigating judges and to have asked that Abdelkader Merah stay in prison, but also a great frustration because once again today there is no response to the issue of some very serious dysfunctions, like the surveillance of Mohammed Merah, which was stopped when it should have been increased, and also that Mohammed Merah wasn't caught alive, whereas if he was, there would have been far more precise explanations to the investigating judges.
After Merah's murders, anti-Semitic attacks in France increased by 40%, and community leaders say many Jews no longer feel safe. Even more troubling for politicians and citizens alike may be the fact that the Toulouse gunman's legacy appears to live on. Following a recent trip to Syria, the co-founder of French international aid group Médecins Sans Frontières reported that many Islamist extremists who have joined the fight against the regime of President Bashar al-Assad say they consider Merah an inspiration.